Hello everyone. In this video, I will discuss about factoring. Now, for the first one is common monomial factor. So when we say common monomial factor, it is written into EX. So it could be plus or minus AY is equal to a quantity of X plus minus Y. So in this factoring or to factor common monomial factor, you just simply get for the A, which is common to X and Y. So it could be addition or it could be subtraction. More or less, the A that is being isolate, which is common to X and Y, is also termed as your GCF or highest common factor or greatest common divisor. So for example, if you are tasked to factor out 4x squared minus 2x, so basically first is you solve for the GCF of two term or expression. So for 4x squared and 2x, so first is for the constant. So they are common in 2 and x. Only the GCF of 4 and 2 is 2. And then for the variable x, so they have only common in the first degree x. So the GCF of this expression or term, each term is 2x. So it's easy to know about variable if it involves variables because you only get the highest exponent common to both expression. So since they have only common in x, only for one degree x, so therefore they have only the GCF is 2x. So 2x would be isolate or divide to the given 4x squared minus 2x. So 2x is the GCF, and then since we taking out 2x to this one, so you just divide 2x to this given 4x squared minus 2x. Now, simplifying further, so the answer is 2x quantity of 2x minus 1. So it's easy to check whether your answer is correct. So you just simply reverse process. So 2x times quantity of 2x minus 1. So this is 4x squared minus 1. So correct. So therefore, this is your final answer. So if you find it difficult to factor out, since the board exam is already the board exam has a solution or has a choices, I mean, so therefore you just simply pick choices and then you reverse process or you do reverse engineering. Pick choices. For example, this is choice A, and then you distribute. Then once you come up 4x squared minus 2x, then that is your answer. For example, so I will let you show how 4x squared minus 2x. So for example, choice A in the board exam is 2x times 2x minus 1. So if choice B in the board exam is 2x times 2x plus 1. So in answering the board exam, you just only pick choice. So for example, if you pick choice A here as maybe the correct answer, so you just do the reverse process. So you distribute this one to the inside. Same with 2x here, you distribute to the inside. So if you distribute 2x to the inside parentheses, so you will come up 2x squared minus, so that is 2x, 4x squared. I mean 4x squared minus 2x. To check the given, if it is correct, then this is the final answer. So this choice B here, so for example, if you choose choice letter B, so this is 4x squared plus 2x. So this is not the correct answer. Okay, so in terms of probability, so there are 4 choices, A, B, C, and D. So we just only do reverse process 4 times. So at least there are 50%, there are 4, or I mean 25% of getting the correct answers, and it is higher percentage that you got the correct answer. So another example here is this one. 8a squared b cubed c4 minus 4ab squared c cubed plus 2a b squared c cubed. So first is you get for the GCF common to the 3 terms. So 4ab squared c cubed, and then lastly 2ab squared c cubed. So for the 8, 4, and 2, so these are the GCF. You multiply everything. This one. Your only 2 is the GCF for number or constant. Now, for constant, for constant, it in variable. So therefore, so for A, they have only common in A, 1 degree A. So it's easy to verify that your answer is correct because you only look for the variable A here. So once checking the A here, as you have noticed that there is only one on there's only first degree A common. So to check for A squared, A and A, so first degree only. Now, for the next variable, B, so these are the common for B. So as you have noticed, for this B cubed, B squared, and B squared, they have common only up to B squared. So after B cubed, so there is no common in term A, term 2 and term 3 of the expression. So therefore, so these are the common for B, B squared only. And for C, as you have noticed also here, C4, C cubed, C cubed. So they have only common in up to C, up to 3C. So these are the common 1, 2, and 3. So not necessarily you do like this. You do the prime factorization for the GCF. So it's much easier if you just simply look into the variable. So for example, C4, C cube, and C cube. So they have only common in up to 3. So that is the GCF for variable C. So therefore, we come up with GCF 2AB squared C cube. Now, taking out 2AB squared C cube, so that is the GCF. So, you divide 2AB squared C cube to the whole given. So therefore, 2AB squared C cube is 2AB squared C cube quantity of 4ABC minus 2C plus 1 is the final answer. So, again, to check, or much easier that if you solve this one by just simply picking choices in the board exam. So, just what I made for problem 1. So, if you pick choices, this one, for example, this is choice D. So, you just distribute. And if you come up the same answer with this one, and then that is the answer. So therefore, that is the answer. For example, if you distribute 2AB squared C cube, and this is choice letter D in the board exam, you distribute in the inside parentheses. So 2AB squared C cube times 4ABC, you come up with this one. And then distribute, you come up with this one. Lastly, distribute to this one. This is the answer. So therefore, that is the final answer. So just picking choices, so much easier compared to really do the operation. So therefore, that is the final answer. Now, how to factor out if the expression or algebraic expression is perfect square trinomial? So when we say perfect square trinomial, they have the same factors. So x minus y, x minus y, x minus y. So for example, the factor is x minus 1, so x minus 1, the same factors. That makes us perfect square trinomial. So if all are positive here, so of course their factors is also the same. So I'm going to have an example, probably want to know how to operate perfect square trinomial. So let's have an example. If you have x squared minus 12x plus 36. So x squared minus 12x plus 36. First thing to do is to square. You check first if the first term here can be square root. Second, so what is the square root of x? X squared. So this is square root of x. So this x squared qualifies and can be square root. So correct. Second is you check the third term here if this is or this can be square root. So 36, square root of 36 is 6. So again, it qualifies to the requirements. So therefore, after that, if if this expression here can be square root, same with 36, the third term, then you check if once you multiply the result upon square root the first term and the second, the last term or the third term, if you double this one or you twice upon multiplying the result x and 6, then the result is 12x. So check. Yes. Again, it qualifies to the requirement. So therefore, this is factorable. So meaning to say, you check if this is can be square root, and then lastly, this one, then you multiply. Then if you twice the result, upon multiplying the two term here or the two result of x squared and 36, then that is factorable. So therefore, the one that you isolate or you square out the first term and third is your basis for the factors here. So x minus 6 minus 6. So because the square root of x is x squared, the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 36 is 6. So this is how to check by smile method. So for example, I have here x minus 6 as your result, for example, 2 and x minus 6. So to check is to multiply this one by this one. So this is a smile method. So negative 6 times x, that is negative 6x. And then this one is also negative 6x. Once you add, you should come up with negative 12x, which is your given here, mid term. This is your given here, the middle term. So therefore, this is how to solve in the board exam. So you just only pick choices. Again, if you have pick choice A, if you have choices A, B, C, and D, all you have to do. So if this is your choice I choice D. So you verify the choices. So you check. So once you multiply here, same with this one. So you multiply. If you come up, or upon adding, if it is correct, or if it satisfies the question x squared minus 12x, which is given in the problem, plus 12x 36, then that is the correct answer. So the only problem here is if you choose first A, so that is wrong. Of course, that is wrong because letter D is the correct answer, which is this is the choices. So if you pick letter B, so of course that is wrong. And then letter C is also wrong. So letter D is the final answer. So you do checking 4 times, but higher percentage of getting the correct answer. So let's go back with the slides. Excuse me. So this is another example. Now A4 plus 4A squared plus 4. So again, this is a three-term, a trinomial given, a trinomial. This is a trinomial. So to check whether this is factorable, first is you check if can be this A4 can be square root. So therefore, square root of A4 is A squared. Correct. So it qualifies to the requirement. Second, for 4, check if this 4 can be square root. Yes, correct. That is 2. So therefore, After that one, you double the result. So once you multiply this one, a squared times 2, you check that once you double the result, it will come up with the middle term. So which is 4a squared. So therefore, as you have noticed here, 4a squared, upon multiplying these two, it is the same with the middle term here. So with that, that 4a squared would be the basis for factorable. So therefore, that is factorable. Now, so your a squared here and 2 would be your factor. So therefore, you start first for the first one, a squared, and then for the second one is plus 2. So this is your final answer. So this is to check. So this is how to check in the board exam. You forget everything, but you just pick choices. So for example, again, let A, you have a choices, B, you have a choices, but the answer is in letter C, which is a squared plus 2, and then same choices, no? Because when you say factorable, the same. I mean, perfect square trinomial have the same factors. So, halimbawa, this is choice C. And then you pick choices, letter C. So, for example, this, you verify if this is the correct answer. So, all you have to do is to do the smile method. So, a squared plus 2, a squared plus 2. Or I mean, you can do like this. So, you multiply 2 with a squared. So, you will arrive to a squared. Okay? Likewise, you also multiply to this one, a squared, with this 2. So same, the result is 2 a squared. So after that one, you add. So the result is 4a squared. So looking to the given here, 4a squared. So you got, or it is the same with the middle term, positive. Take note of the sign, ha? If this is positive, you verify if the result upon doing this, this is positive here. So that is to verify. So that is the correct, and that is factorable. Or that is the correct. I mean that is the correct answer. Okay, so it's much easier that you do the reverse process if you do not know how to factor this one. Just simply picking choices. Okay, so let's have an example or another example to make it clear. But more or less, it is much easier if you apply the reverse engineering or you just simply picking choice. So 9 minus 6 m squared 2 plus m squared or a m4 n squared. So you check first if this can be square root. Likewise for m squared also. So for 9, that is square root of 9 is 3. So correct. It can be, or it qualifies to the requirement. Second, m squared n squared. So radical of an exponent. So that is m squared n. So with that, you multiply the result of this one and this one. So 2 times 3 and m squared n. So the result is 6m squared. Check if it is the same with the middle term. So therefore, 6m squared here is just the same with your middle term. Although positive here and negative here. So it won't matter, but only the requirement is just to check upon multiplying if you come up with it twice twice upon multiplying the result of this one and this one. So therefore that is factorable. Excuse me. Now therefore, since the square root of 9 here is 3, so this is your first factor. The square root of 4m squared here is n squared. So the result is 3 minus 4, I mean m squared n, and 3 minus m squared n. So that is the final answer. So next is the sum and difference of two squares. So x squared minus y squared. So from the word sum and difference of two squares. So to solve for this is, I'll give you an example to make it clear. So shall we say, let's have an example, y squared minus 1. So this is different from perfect square trinomial because you have only two terms binomial here. So this is how I solve for y squared minus 1. First is you check if this first term here can be square root again. So yes, that is y. So it qualifies to the requirement. Second, for the second term, what is the square root of 1? That is 1. So again, correct. That satisfies the requirement. After that one, if this expression here or the given is precedence with negative between, so meaning there is a negative sign between the two terms, then that is factorable. So again, the requirements is if this can be square root, the first term, second, the second term, if this can be square root, then it is between the negative sign. So with that, that is factorable. Okay, that is the requirements to check if that is factorable. So therefore, the result is y, then plus 1, and then y minus 1. So that is your final answer. So I'm going to show again how to solve using the shortest way. So the given in the problem is y squared minus 1. And then the answer is y plus 1 and then y minus 1. So this plus and minus. So the same first term here, the same first term. Same with second term, but it matters only on the sign, the plus and the minus here. So the plus and the minus. The plus and the minus. So now, to check, so let's use the reverse engineering picking choices. So shall we say that the one at or the answer is in letter D. So if you pick choice letter D, so y plus 1, then y minus 1. So y times y, that is y squared. And then y times 1 is y plus y. This time for the negative 1. So negative 1 here times y. That is negative y. Then negative 1 times 1, that is negative 1. So upon adding, so you will arrive y squared. So since this is cancelled out, that is 0. So it only remains on negative 1. So negative 1. So notice that it is the same with the given. So you conclude that that choice letter D is correct. That is your, or that is the correct answer. So that is how to use using the shortcut one. So if you do not know how to factor out this one, so all you have to do is to pick choices. At least there is higher percentage that you will shade the correct answer. So another example, so that is 16 minus 4m squared. So check if this can be square root. So for 16, what is the square root of 16? That is 4. Then for the second term, that is 4m squared. So that is 2m. So it qualifies the requirement. So, and it is between negative here, or I mean, subtraction operation. So therefore, that is factorable. So therefore, the answer is 4 plus 2m and 4 minus 2m, because the square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 4m squared is 2m. So therefore, this is your final answer. Observe sometimes if there is an expression that can, especially with this one, if 2m can be square root, then you do factor it again until such time that you will arrive the final answer. So that is the final answer for this problem, example 2. Now another example here is 81x4 minus y8 c squared. So same with sample 1 and 2. So you check if this can be square root. So 81x4 is 9x squared. And then for y squared or y8 c squared is y8 c squared, or y4 z is the correct answer upon square root. And then it is between negative or subtraction. So it qualifies to the requirements. So therefore, this is factorable. So this is the factors. It only matters on sign, plus and the minus. But more or less, this is your final answer. So what if I'll give you another example and I will show you the solution how I solve. So shall we say this is your example number 4. And the given is y squared minus 8 or 16. So y squared or y4 minus 16. So of course, you check first if this can be square root. So the result is y squared for y4, the square root. And then for 16, the square root is 4. So therefore, the factor is y squared plus 4 and then y squared minus 4. So observe first if this can be square root. Likewise, this can be square root. So this one cannot be square root because this is not precedence with negative or minus. So do not conclude that this is the answer. This is not the correct answer. So that is wrong. Because as you have noticed here, this y squared minus 4 can still be factored out. So let's simplify first this one. Y squared minus 4. Notice that this is precedence with y or minus. And this y squared here can be square root, which is y. Likewise, for your 4, the square root of 4 is 2. So therefore, the answer is, you just copy this one. So quantity of y squared plus 4, and then this one, y plus 2 and y minus 2. Do not conclude right away that this is your final answer. Check first if this can be factor or can be factor and this one. So this is the factor of this one, and then you just copy this one, and this is this one. So this is your final answer. But the safest way here is just simply picking choices. So you distribute first, and then you multiply this one. And once you come up this one, that is the final answer. So let's proceed with the next under factoring sum of two cubes. So first is x cubed plus y cubed. So this is sum of two cubes. So because this is a cube of x and a cube of y, and the precedence now is plus. So to solve for this, all you have to do is to check this one, first term. So what is the cube root of x cubed? That is x. Same with y cubed. What is the cube root of y cubed? That is y. So this is the rule. And I will present this one in the paint. So x cubed plus y cubed. So verify if this is can be cube root. Then Same here, if this can be cube root. After that one, the result of cube root of x will be right here. And since this is plus, so you put plus. And the cube root of y is y cube. And the cube root of y cube is y. So therefore, copy y. Then the first rule is square the first term. So this is the first steps or step. Square the first term. So this is your first term. This is your first term. Okay, so the first term is x. So square the first term. So what is the square root of x? That is x squared. X squared. Next, it is always negative here. Take note for that. Always negative. So whatever, always negative. And then the second step is multiply the first and the second or last term. So that is the second term or the second step. So this x here, excuse me. So this is your first term and this is also your second or last term. So again, you multiply this first term and second term. So x times y, that is xy. And then for the last step, so I'll just write here for the last step. For the third step, square the last, the second or last term. So this is your last term here. Y, this is your last term. This, at the same time, this is your second term. So what is the square root or the square root of y? That is y squared. So this is the answer, or this is how to operate. So observe that it is always negative here. So first step is square the first term, then you multiply the two term, and then lastly, you square this last term or second term, which is this one, and it is always negative here or minus. So that is for the sum of two cubes. So for example, 1 plus a cubed. So this is your first term and this is your second term. So this is not negative here, so you cannot do the sum and difference of two squares. So check if your 1 can be factorable, can be cube root. Same with a cube. So to check, what is cube root of 1? That is 1. And what is the cube root of a cube? That is a. So therefore, that is factorable because the two term can be cube root at the same time. The precedence here is positive or plus. So the one that you cube both the first and the second term is now your expression here, 1 plus a. because 1 here is for cube root of 1 and a here is for the cube root of a cube. Then the next thing to do is to square the first term. So what is the square of 1? That is 1. And then what is 1 times a? So you multiply the first and second term. That is a. So as you have noticed here, this is always minus. And you multiply the two term. Then the last step is square the last term or the second term. So that is a squared. So therefore, simplifying the inside parentheses, the square of 1 is a, then minus a plus a squared. So this is the answer. Or you can write this one a plus 1. You just simply interchanging. This is commutative property of addition. And then same with this one, a squared minus a plus 1. I'm just arranging from higher degree to lowest degree. So a squared minus a plus 1. So you just simply check on the choices in the board exam. Now, just like sum and difference of two squares, common monomial factor, you can do also solve for this using the shortcut or by just picking choice. So for example, the one that I am presenting here is this one. And then, this is the factor, right? So for example, this is the answer. This is the choices in the board exam. And this is also the answer that a while ago that we are presenting. Okay, so a plus 1, then a 1 minus a plus a squared. So for example, in the board exam, this is letter D in the choices. All you have to do is to verify the choices. So 1 minus a plus a squared. You multiply it by 1 plus a. So check. You multiply this one. Multiply or times. So 1 times 1. So again, this one, 1. You multiply this one to this one and to this one, including the sign. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times negative a is minus a. 1 times a squared, that is plus a squared. So same with a here. So you multiply to this one, a times 1, that is positive a. A times negative a, that is negative a squared. And then a times a squared, that is positive a cubed. Then you add. As you have noticed, once adding the result, so this is, or this a and a here is cancelled, 0. Same with this one, 0. So the remaining is only 1 plus this one, a, and then a cube. A cube. So as you have noticed, observe the given in the problem. 1 plus a cube. So since that is equal or the same, then that is the answer. So choice letter D is your answer. So the only problem here, if you pick choice letter C, then you proceed to the next choice, or you pick another choice. Then same procedure. Then if it satisfies the given, then that is the answer. So another example here, 27x cubed plus y squared or y12 z6. So the first thing to do is to check if that is, or that can be cube root. Same with y4, y12 z6. And the precedence here is always positive, cube root. So cube root of 27, that is 3x squared. And cube root of y12 c6 is y4 c squared. So it's easy to solve for the cube root of a variable. So if this is cube root, make it so that this 12 can be divided by 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Same with 6. 6 divided by 3 is square. That is how to operate cube root. So if this can be divisible by 3, or the number 3 here, then that is the cube root. So likewise, same with x6. So 6 divided by 3, that is squared. But for the constant, so you check what is the cube root of 27. So familiarize also the cube root of 8, cube root of 16, cube root of 8, cube root of 125, then cube root of 27, and so on and so forth. So therefore, since this can be cube root, this is factorable. So 3 plus 3x squared plus y squared, y4 z squared times, so the first thing to do is to square the first term, then minus, you multiply 3x squared and y4 here, c squared, because this is your first and second term. So you multiply and then square the last term. So square the first term, minus, you multiply the two terms and then square the last term. So therefore, this is the final answer. So this is the square root of 3x squared is 9x4. And then when you multiply 3x squared and y4z squared is 3x squared, always in negative here. And then lastly, simplifying this one, this is exponent to exponent, multiplying. So 4 times 2, that is 8. And then 2 times 2, that is 4. So y8, c4. So therefore, this is your final answer. So if you do not know how to factor that one, all you have to do is to pick choices. So for example, this is choice letter D in a board exam. So choice letter D. And then you verify if that is the answer. So 3x squared, 9x4 minus 3x squared y4 z squared plus y4, y8 z4. So you multiply it by 3x squared plus y4 z squared. Okay, multiplication. process. So first is this one, the 3x squared. So you multiply it, this one, with this one. So 3x squared plus 9x4, that is 27x 6. Correct? 27x 6. So let's check for, so 27, 9. Okay. So, by the way, x6, yeah, this is not cube. That is x6. So, correction, this is x6. So, so 9 times 3x squared is 27x cubed. And then negative 3x squared y4 times 3x squared. So that is minus 9x4 9x4, then y4 c z squared. And then plus 3x squared times y8 z4. So that is 3x squared y y8 and then z4. Then after that one, so you proceed now with this one. So same process, you multiply this one with 9x4. So that is 9, positive 9, x4, y4, z squared. And then next is y4 z squared times this one. This one. You multiply. So the result is plus or minus 3x squared y8 and z4. And then lastly, this one. You multiply y8 by y8 z4. Y squared z squared to y8 z4. So this is plus y12 so check first the choices y8 y8 I mean y12 z6. Then you add everything. So this is cancel. I mean this can be cancelled. Same with this one, cancel the same. So remaining is this one and this one. So 27 x6 plus y12 z6. Notice that that is the final or the same with the choices. So again, correction for question number 2. This is not 6, x3 a while ago. That is x6. So check for the cube root of 27. That is 3x squared because 6 divided by 3, that is 2. So same with y12c6, the cube root of that is this one. And once you verify that these two here can be factorable, can be cube root, precedent is positive, and that is factorable. Then you do the process, square the first term, minus the product of the two, and then twice the product. I mean, cube the last term. So this is the final answer. So let's proceed now with the difference of two cubes. So this time, minus. So same, first is the cube root of this first term, x cubed, and then this time minus here, and then the cube root of y cubed. If it is satisfies on the given choices, I mean the given requirements, so then that is factorable. So there is no negative inside parentheses, so all are in positive. It is always in positive. So the ruling is square the first term, the product of the two, and then square the last term, or multiply the two and then square the last term. So for example, m cubed minus 8. So that is check. So let's check for the first term. This can be cube root. So m cubed is m. For the cube root of 8, that is 2. So therefore, that is factorable, provided that the precedence here is minus. So in that case, so since this is minus, this is also minus here, m minus 2. And then square the first term, always positive, plus the product of the two, or multiply the first and the second term, and then square the last term. So therefore, simplifying further, m minus 2. So what is m raised to 2? M squared. And then m times 2, that is 2m. And 2 squared is 4. Okay? M times 2. And then lastly, the result is 4. 4. So therefore, this is the final answer. So you can do also reverse process in the actual board exam. So for example, this is the question here. And then you want to verify if that is the correct answer. So for example, this is choice letter D in the board exam. So you do the reverse process. So m squared plus 2m plus 4, m minus 2. So you multiply here, m times m, that is m cubed. M times 2m is 2m squared. And m times 4, that is 4m. Negative 2 times m squared minus 2m squared. Negative 2 times 2m, that is negative 4m. And then negative 2 times 4, that is minus 8. So with that, so notice that this is cancelled, cancel. So the remaining only is this one and then this one. So the final answer now is m cubed minus 8. Notice that it satisfies the given. So therefore, that is the correct answer. So disadvantages, if you pick choice A, then that is not satisfies, or if that's not satisfies, then if you pick choice B, same, and letter C, same. Then when you arrive at choice D, then you satisfy, or you verify that that is the same. So therefore, there are 4 chances or 4 attempts of doing such step. But again, as I always reminding you, as I always telling you, that this is much higher percentage that you come up with the same or with correct answer rather than do the rules. So just like I'm doing this one, you check, verify, cube root, it won't matter. But the safest, the fastest is by just simply verifying or picking up the choice. Okay? So we're done with the m cubed minus 8. So I will give you another example. Wait for a while. So this is 2x squared. So this is the shortcut one. So this is not difference, sum, two cubes, perfect square trinomial, but I will show you the shortcut. For example, you have here your task to solve for the factor of 2x squared plus 3x minus 2, and you do not know how to factor out this one. So once you check 2x squared, if this can be cube root or square root, no. If this can be square root, no. So it does not qualifies in the perfect square trinomial. So likewise, in a sum of two cubes, same. It cannot. So there are only 2 terms in the sum of two cubes at the same time in the sum and difference of two cubes and difference of two cubes. So therefore, you cannot do those topic or those procedure. So all you have to do is to pick choices. For example, in the board exam, these are the choices A, B, C. All you have to do is to verify choices. So for example, if you think that D is the answer, you verify, or you pick choice letter D. You verify if that is the answer. Then you do the reverse way. So you multiply this whole quantity here. So x times 2x is 2x squared. And then x times negative 1, that is negative x. Same with 2 times 2x, that is, and 2 times negative 1, that is negative 2. So add, this is to bring down 2x squared, and then x, negative x plus 4x is 3x, and then bring down negative 2. So as you have noticed, upon checking, it is the same with the question or the given problem in the board exam. Then, with that, we conclude that D is the answer. So this is the safest, the fastest way in doing factoring. If you do not know how to apply perfect square trinomial, if you do not know how to apply sum and difference of two cubes, sum and difference of two squares, and difference of two cubes and sum of two cubes, then you just simply use the shortcut. Pick choices, then verify. Once you arrive the same in the question, then that is the final answer. So before I'm going to end my presentation or discussion, let's review first how to get for the third term or completing the square. So this is completing the square. Okay? How to complete the square to make it perfect square trinomial. So for example, x squared minus 8x, then blank. And then the problem would says, find the missing terms. So x squared minus 8x, then blank. So to make it perfect square trinomial, all you have to do is to divide this negative 8 here by 2. So divide it by 2. So divided it by 2. What is negative 8 divided by 2? That is negative 4. After that one, this negative 4 will be squared. Again, this negative 4 will be squared. So therefore, this is positive 16 because when you squared positive, negative and times negative, that is positive. So another example, x squared minus 1/2 x. So find the missing here. So all you have to do is to divide negative 1/2 by 2. So of course, by ruling of fractions, so this will become reciprocal and then proceed to multiplication. That is negative 1/2 times, what is the reciprocal of these two? That is 1/2. So the result is negative 1/4 because you multiply numerator to you just multiply numerator to numerator. So I've already discussed it in my modules on fractions or multiplications of fractions. So multiply numerator to numerator, then denominator to denominator. That's why we come up here, negative 1 plus 4. After that one is you square the result. So negative 1/4 and then you squared. What is the squared of negative 1/4? So we say squared, these two determines the number of times you multiply negative 1/4. So it is just equal to negative 1/4 times negative 1/4. So therefore, the answer is positive 1/16. So this 1/16 now is your third term. So this is completing the squares. So one more example to make it clear. So for another example here is y4 minus 12y. So to make it perfect square trinomial, so by completing the square is you divide negative 12 by 2. The result is negative 6. So by 2, that is negative 6. Then the result now would be squared. So what is the squared of 6? That is negative 6. That is 36. So plus 30 divide by 2. Na, okay? So divided by 2, this one, whole quantity here, divide by 2, that is negative, wait for a while, correction. So negative 12y squared, all the whole quantity, divided it by 2, that is only 2. That is negative 6y squared. So you square that one, that is negative 6y squared, and then you squared. What is the square of negative 6y squared? That is 36y 4. So whatever be the expression inside, you divide it by 2 and then square. Since this negative, since this is 12y squared here, negative 12y squared, you divide it by 2, the whole quantity, and then you squared. So this is now your last term, perfect square trinomial. So last example, y squared plus 2x y. Okay. So with that, you divide it by 2. So 2x squared divide by 2. That is x. I mean x y. So once you squared for that, that is plus x squared y squared. So therefore, the factor for that is y plus x squared y squared y plus x squared y squared. That makes us perfect square trinomial, the same factor. So check y squared plus x squared y squared, this one, plus x, wait, divided by 2, that is x squared, y squared. Okay? Y plus xy, correction. So this is perfect square trinomial. So what is the square root of x squared? Y squared, that is y. And this is the third term. What is the square root for that? That is x and y. So therefore, the factor is y plus xy. And then y plus xy. So that makes us perfect square trinomial. So when you multiply y times y, that is y squared. Y times xy, that is xy squared, plus x squared, or xy squared, xy. So what is missing here? Y plus xy. Y squared plus 2x squared. This is y squared there is a missing the given. So it must be so this one. If you have x, y squared plus xy squared, that is y4 for the first term as twice the product of the two. So this is the step in simplifying this one. The first rule is square the first term, y4, plus twice the product, x, y, 2xy cubed, plus square the last term, that is x squared, y squared. So this is perfect square trinomial, such that when you do the factor in reverse way, the square of y4 is y squared, and the square root of this one is plus xy. So correction for the one that I'm presenting a while ago. So copy, and y squared plus xy. Okay. So that's it. So proceed. So before I end my presentation, as I always mention with my other modules, so mathematics needs really constant practice. Look for the easiest way or method, and use the steps which makes you more easy to operate, rather than doing the such principles and it takes you a lot of time. So the technique of this is you save time always, and hopefully the one that I am sharing to you, especially on applying the reverse engineering, is just simply picking choice that makes you easy to operate. So before I end, I will leave you this message by S. Gooder. The essence of mathematics is not to make simple things complicated, but to make complicated things simple. So look for the easiest simple way rather than those complicated. I mean, you use or make things simple so that you will have no difficulties in manipulating the equations. So I hope that you gain something with this discussion, with this video. And again, this is Engineer Larry Angelo Arcanietti, your mathematics and statistics reviewer from Santo Niño Review Center. So thank you for listening, and God bless all reviewees. Thank you so much.